Today's video is sponsored by BetterHelp.com, and I've been with them for a long time. BetterHelp is an online platform where we found that you can effectively communicate with your therapist. Now, you begin by filling out a questionnaire, and then you'll be matched with a therapist within a couple of days. And if that match isn't ideal for you, you can certainly make an adjustment there. Now, you're going to be encouraged to journal, and also they have the availability for group therapy on a wide array of topics, and I really like that. So as the need exists, go ahead and take the necessary steps to get the help that you need. And just know that BetterHelp has a 4.5 rating on Trustpilot, so it indeed is a platform you can trust. There's a link below the video that will take you there. There's an essential beginning point for you to hold on to as you're trying to figure out how you're going to engage and respond to strongly narcissistic individuals. And that is, make sure you remember that narcissists don't think in terms of mutuality. You can be a healthy individual and you can think, well, I scratch your back, you scratch my back. I'd like to make your day go a little bit better, just as I would hope you would do the same in reverse toward me. That's what I mean when I say mutuality. Narcissists don't think like that. They've got such a strong negative or selfish kind of mindset that they can be so difficult to engage with. Now, one of the things that is extremely common with narcissists is that they can use all sorts of tactics to try to keep you in a guessing game with them and to maintain their control over you. And one of the most prominent categories of their tactics is passive-aggressive behavior. Now, I'm going to get into that in just a minute, but when they go into their passive aggressiveness, it's their way of saying, you think that you're in control, but I have so much news for you, you're not. And they have all sorts of tactics that they can use so that they can keep you off your game. And when they go into their passive aggressiveness, they have 4 different reasons that drive them. And they have 4 different goals that are part of what they're hoping to accomplish. First, they're wanting to maintain power over you. Beyond that, they want to keep you as supply. And then on top of that, they want to create diversionary tactics so that you don't have an inside scoop over them. They want to keep themselves off of the center stage and put you onto the center stage in terms of negativity. And then on top of that, they want to keep you emotionally dysregulated. Now, I'm going to come back to that in just a couple of minutes, but let's remind ourselves what we're talking about when we say a person is passive aggressive. Now, obviously, when we use the word aggressive, there's an anger element that's strongly implied in that. Narcissists want to come against you. They want to make sure that you understand that you're the inferior person here. And so aggressive anger means that narcissist is standing for their needs and their preferences and their cravings while showing disdain toward you. They want to make you feel like a loser. And there are so many different ways that they can go about doing this. They want to maintain, of course, control with the least amount of personal vulnerability. So they're not going to let you know who they are, other than the fact that they're mad. They're not going to share any kind of vulnerable things. Instead, the passive aggressive is strongly known for going into withdrawal. They can go into silent treatment. They can put up their walls of defensiveness very strongly, where it's the message is sent very clearly. You're not going to penetrate. I'm not cooperating, that kind of mindset. They can go quiet for a while, and in their quietness, they just ooze contempt and disdain toward you. They can refuse to be helpful or tuned into you. It's like, I don't feel like doing that. Being the case, they're very prone towards procrastination or being unavailable or non-committal or coy or evasive. That's all part of their passive aggressiveness. I'm taking care of me, so they think, and I'm going to do it at your expense. They can give half-hearted efforts, procrastination, laziness. They can be deliberately non-cooperative, etc. And there's so many other things that I could name that's part of the passive aggressiveness. But let's suffice it to say that in their passive aggressive behaviors, they're more or less saying to you through their non-verbally, they're more or less saying, You disgust me. You'll never be enough. You'll never measure up to who I am. You have no value to me other than what I can do to manipulate you and how you can service me. And the less you know about my inner thoughts and intentions and desires, then the better I am, because that keeps me in control. The passive aggressive wants control with the least amount of vulnerability. Now, let's go back to those 4 things that I mentioned that the narcissist is hoping to accomplish. And again, the more you know the mind of that narcissist, the more you understand what charges them and what makes them tick, then the more you're going to be able to respond in an informed way so that you don't get caught up in all their snares. Because the passive aggressiveness is one of the most insidious ways that they can engage with it. By the way, let me take a quick aside. Covert narcissists are known for their passive aggressiveness due to the covert nature. In other words, they don't want to be quite as loud and outlandish. They can do all the stuff that I just mentioned, plus a lot more. So passive aggressiveness is first nature for the covert narcissist. Now, they can still have overt aggression, but they lead with covert, with passiveness. The overt narcissist leads with loud and dysregulated aggressive anger, but they too can have passive aggressiveness kind of as an add-on on the backside of their open aggressiveness. So if that kind of gives you a bit of a distinction. Either way, these individuals, number one, let's go back, they're hoping to accomplish power over you. It's all their behavior in their non-cooperation with you and in their sabotaging behaviors toward you is their way of saying, I am above you. I can out-stubborn you, and I can go for a long, long time, sending you the message, you will not get my cooperation. If you want to keep trying me, go right ahead, because I am going to win out. And then it gives them a real surge of invigoration when they realize that you're being frustrated by them. And of course they think, oh good, this is working, let's do it some more. And then when we talk about them hoping to accomplish supply, what I mean by that is narcissists need people who are going to fall in line and do what they want them to do. They have an attitude of entitlement. They have an attitude of false superiority. And so narcissists are hoping that if they show themselves to be passively not into you, that you'll finally think, all right, never mind, just I know how you get, I'm sick of this. And so they want you to fall in line due to their insistence, we're going to do things my way. I'm just going to let you figure it out. And they have no sense of mutuality, like I mentioned. And so I don't want to try to do mutuality because that implies that I'm, equal to you. Yuck, I'm not going to do that. And so they want you as supply because if they can just keep you coming back towards them in ways that keep them off your back, then they think, again, I win. And then when we talk about they're hoping to accomplish diversion tactics, basically they're thinking, I know that you want to talk with me about things that you think are wrong with me. We're not going to do that. You see, that's off limits. Whatever's cooking on the inside of me is something that I don't even want to talk about within myself, and I'm sure not going to divulge anything with you. So what we're going to do, when I go into the passive aggressiveness, I'm going to make you the focal point, and I'm not the focal point. Now, how this works is, let's suppose that they say, you're being so non-cooperative. You're not, I need you to help me out. And in their passive aggressiveness, the narcissist can come back and think, it's not about me. You're the one who's being stubborn here. And they can just go silent. And they can just think, you can complain all you want, but I'm not going to cooperate with you. And they're hoping you're going to lay down your preferences and go along with whatever it is they're needing in the moment. And then when we think in terms of what they're hoping to accomplish and how they want to win over you, we go to that word dysregulation. Narcissists absolutely are thrilled once you start getting emotionally dysregulated due to their passive-aggressive tactics. It's incredibly pleasing to them. And then they think, they turn it around and they say, look at how angry you are. Look at how easily agitated and impatient you are. Why in the world would I want to coordinate with someone like you? Now, of course, they could be setting the whole thing up with all of their non-cooperation, etc., but it's the ultimate gotcha game. and they love to play that with you. So as long as you stay flustered with them, they find the control that they so stubbornly crave. And they think to themselves, I'm the winner. You are not just the loser, you're a loser. And they build a narrative on the inside of their mind based on that. And it provides them a cover for their deep insecurity. Because you see, as long as they can be playing these kind of psychological games with you, we're not going to get to that subject that I don't want to talk about. Now, there's one enormous mistake that you can make when you are in the presence of this passive-aggressive person who's trying to win with their false tactics. And that big mistake is you think, I need to get that person to be authentic. Just be open about who you are. Be honest. Be self-disclosing. Come on. We can talk about this in a fair kind of way. And first, one of the things we say often about narcissists in general is they have an absence of self-reflective thinking. But then let's double that because particularly when we're talking about the passive-aggressive covert narcissists, they don't trust either. So openness and self-disclosure and authenticity is off the charts for them. So this leaves you then with options. You know, what options am I going to use, knowing that this is going to be the way they're going to engage with me? And option number one, I'll go ahead and say the crummy one up front. You can start arguing with them, and you can try to force their hand, and you can try to make them see the light. And I'm thinking, just go find a brick wall and bang your head against that. You'll get better results doing that. That's an option, but it's a crummy option. It's one they hope you choose because, again, that allows them to play that gotcha game that I mentioned. They love your dysregulation. But instead, mentally, and hear me out on this, mentally go ahead and admit your defeat. And by that I mean, okay, passive-aggressive narcissist, you win. But you see, as you admit that, you win, you consider me the loser, I'm not in your game anyway, so I don't care. And so unhook from whatever it is that they're wanting to create in you, and instead stay inside your boundaries. And when we say your boundaries, your definition of who you're going to be. And don't let them pull you out of that. And stay consistent with your own initiatives. Hold on to your opinions and priorities. Sometimes you may need to go ahead and speak up and say, this is who I am. This is what I stand for. Do so, though, with the notion that it's not going to change it. But sometimes you just need to hear yourself say whatever you need to say. And then know that you will not be respected by them, but your main goal is to maintain your own self-respect. Bottom line is, I'm hoping you can decide I'm going to be separate and distinct because, you see, I don't want to filter my life through the ways of a schemer. Now, I hope that videos like this can give you some enlightenment about what you're dealing with. If you have not already hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do so. We're going to keep more videos coming towards you. I hope it helps you in your growth process. Now, I know that so many of you, when you're dealing with something like this, you think, I could use some help in having someone sift this out with me. I've been sponsored for years, as you know, by the people at BetterHelp.com. There's a link below, and you can go through their website and then answer a few questions and then select a therapist that can work with you. When you're dealing with someone like this, you're dealing with somebody who's wiling and scheming, etc. And as the need is warranted, get the help that you need so that you have an extra set of eyeballs working with you about who you are and how you can be your best version of yourself, despite dealing with someone who's dysregulated like they are. Now, in addition, I would invite you to go into my website. We have lots, and when I say lots of resources there with my courses. Each course has at least 25 teaching videos with handouts and questions on anger, on boundaries, on healthy connections, finding yourself, in addition to the webinars and that we have that are 90-minute PowerPoint presentations, articles, and my books, etc. So Team Healthy, stay true to yourself. Know that you're playing with somebody who's messing with you. But the more you have this confidence that says, I'm a decent person, I'm on Team Healthy, then I'm hoping you can have the sense of peace that they're not going to be able to share with you. Nonetheless, I'm hoping that's your goal and your aim.